Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here at Indigo Moon. You know, a person will often call another individual a space cadet. Sometimes when a person calls another person that name, it's because they can't relate to what that person is saying. Sometimes they'll even call another person an airhead because you don't understand what it is that they're talking about, and you put a label on that other individual. Does that make it better? We have to watch our words, because sometimes our wording, our verbiage that we speak about another individual quickly comes right back to us. You see, when we judge or prejudge another individual based upon one conversation or one viewing, what is it that we're doing? There's always going to be one way or another that someone's going to prejudge you or hear something that you said and project it in another way. But here is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to, if you're going to listen to the person, listen to them. And of course, everyone's going to have their own opinions. But sometimes you have to see the person's perspective in another way. It's almost like you watch a movie and your projection or your observation of this movie was one way and someone else's observation was another way. We don't always get the full picture or the full perspective in one setting. Just like you eat a meal, McDonald's food is always going to be the same. Apparently the ingredients have been placed in it a different way, and everyone looks forward to that flavor. That's why they end up going back to McDonald's. Chick-fil-A too. Everyone likes a certain way in which the food tastes, so they expect that, and they know that it's not going to be different. Your mother might prepare a meal, and it's going to be different each time. Certain ingredients are always going to render the same flavor, but perhaps she let it marinate long enough this time to maybe permeate those flavors. Even when we don't understand something, we are still there to experience it. God might be planting certain seedlings in you right now with hearing that one thing, so that when it comes around later on, it'll all come together. I told you, my mother taught me how to drive stick shift on a piece of paper with a pen. And she wrote it out, and I said, there's no way in the world. Just show me how to drive the vehicle. I want to know how to drive. But her merely doing that helped me to understand the perspective, so that when I took the keys to my ex-boyfriend's car and decided to drive around his complex and teach myself, I was able to connect the dots, to link it together. We don't always understand why a person says what they say, but if we stick around long enough, we'll be able to understand it. Okay? Keep that in mind when we judge or prejudge another individual or another situation. And remember, is that act or are those words kind when we are observing and we're making our own viewing of the situation? Remember that everyone has their own ingredient to add to this recipe. Let us begin to see the way that it unfolds before we prejudge the situation at hand. Thank you so much for joining us, Indigo Moon.